Yvonne, Teresa with ReTwist-T, and I want to take this moment to welcome you all to our very first ever Tea Time Talks. We are so happy that you are here to join us. I have to just go over a few little, what do people say? Like
housekeeping?
Housekeeping.
Yeah.
A few little housekeeping things to talk to you guys about this evening. Now, Tea Time Talks. So what all of you need to do, and I'll give you an out this week because it is our very first one.
Shoo.
But moving forward, when we have a tea time talk coming, you got to get your tea ready. Okay, so you got to have your tea with you. I have my tea this evening. My mug says, "Be a unicorn in a field of horses." It's very important to be a unicorn in a field of horses. Also, as you guys all learned at our last health coaching session, I'm kind of all about notebooks and binders.
Okay.
It's a thing. It's real with me. I have a notebook and binder for everything that we do here at ReTwist-T, a different one for everything, every board that I'm in, everything. Now, for our Tea Time Talks, my notebook that I'm using is Tiana and Trust Your Heart. Because what our Tea Time Talks are all about are talking to our different artists, artisans, curators, creators that we have here on our team at ReTwist-T, and how they have followed their hearts and become those artists or creators that they wanted to be. So that is why I have this notebook for this evening, all ready to fill up with the questions that you have for our artist that we will be talking to tonight. Her name is Angelica of Angelica Yvonne. I want you guys all to welcome her. Yay! She is joining us this evening to talk to us kind of a little bit because we have so many amazing people here on our team. You've met them through their pieces that they bring here in our shows, on our amazing website, Facebook, all those spaces. We've kind of done introductions of them through our lives, but we want you now to be able to meet them, kind of have a conversation, sort of, through our social media platform.
Right.
And so we want you guys to be able to ask any questions that you may have. We have gotten a few in, so we're going to kind of go over these questions that we do have for Angelica. Feel free and be very excited to go ahead and type in that comment section any questions that you may have or think of this evening. Tanya will be watching for that. She'll let us know when something comes in. If it's something that comes in after our show tonight, no worries. We will make sure that Angelica gets those questions so that she is able to communicate with you with any questions or just conversation that you may have for her.
Ooh.
So welcome again tonight to our very first ever Tea Time Talks. We're going to get started with our artist, Angelica of Angelica Yvonne. Hello, Angelica. Now, Angelica is our very own and only studio artist that we do have here at ReTwist-T. Let's get to know all about her.
Okay.
So, what inspired you to do art, to become an artist?
What inspired me to do art and become an artist? I don't know, because I feel like being an artist is something that you have just to begin with. So it also depends on what kind of artist you are. But for me, I feel like my propensity to do art, right, to paint or to make poetry or stuff like that. I think that was always existing. You know what I mean? And it helps that my family is super creative. So I feel like it's that the quality that I already have something in me when I'm born, and then also the environment that I'm in. So
to kind of promote that.
That promoted that a lot.
Right.
And you see around you creative people, and you're oh, this is fun. This is where I'm comfortable in and what I like to do.
Yeah.
So that's always kind of.
Well, we already have a couple of questions for Angelica.
I have my pen ready.
Okay, well, first one, or I'll just tell you for a little bit, I guess. What is her favorite medium? And also, how old were you when you started on your art journey? And then finally, can you sing You Are My Sunshine with your mother and auntie?
Aww, that's so cute. This is why we do need to do that. We do. Dedicate.
Right.
We'll do an evening of singing.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'll be cute. Yes. We will put that on the calendar.
Yeah. That's a good one.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Very good questions. I love that. I
Yes.
love that. We'll ask those questions.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I'm going to try to kind of go in order. We're going to pull in those questions that we have from the outside. The singing one, though, we've got covered. We're going to put that one on the calendar. Now, our next question that we'll go to is where did you go to school to become an artist?
I went to the University of Northwestern St. Paul in Minnesota. Super great school. I think about it a lot. It was a small program, more so it wasn't super like crazy competitive and like cutthroat, like be an artist or die.
Right.
So it was great for me. I feel like I got a lot of like personal attention. The professors were super fun and cool, and yeah, love that place.
That's nice.
So
You get to really like express you instead of feeling like.
And there's like all of the space, the studios and stuff. You're not sharing it with like hundreds of people, so it's great. You get like, well, I got a lot of space. I take up a lot of space when I like do things. So if anybody from like school sees this, they'll be like, haha, yeah, because I literally would like find like any abandoned spot and be like, I'm staking a claim. This whole 30 feet radius is mine. Yeah, but it was really fun. Yeah.
It's very cool. You have to get creative. You have to feel free, open, and not like set in a space.
Not set in.
No, you can't be set in. I get that.
Right.
And so at Northwestern, what degree or degrees?
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So I have a art and design degree and a theological studies degree because we all get like one of those. So there was like a fuzzy. Yeah. So yeah, my art and design degree, it meant that I specified in studio art, so that's like painting, sculpture, like drawing, stuff like that. And I also learned like a little bit about like design and like graphic design. It's not like that's not my core thing to do, but I do understand it and I like value it, and you do need the principles of design to be a good artist. So.
Can you incorporate like graphic design illustration with like studio art?
For sure. And like the animation program is super great because I feel like illustration would be that like merging of the two worlds.
Right.
To me. And I mean, like if you're an illustrator, you could probably expound on it more, but I feel like it's that digital world and like the traditional world kind of like coming together. It was super cool. They had so many great programs there, but yeah, I do that. I do that now. I try to like integrate like my digital art and my traditional art, you know? This is the 21st century, and I know that like that's where we're going.
Right.
So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's a really cool segue into like, so you have these backgrounds and these programs you went into this degree. So what is your favorite style of art, and can you tell us why?
Favorite style.
And we'll blend that with your favorite medium as well, the question that had come in.
My favorite style, like if we're gonna talk like movement maybe, I would say like contemporary art. I mean, I know that that's like the age that we're in, but I feel like as you're looking around the art around here, I have like such a different way of thinking that is just super contemporary. Like that's the world I grew up in, so I'd say like that's my favorite because it feels like, oh, that's where I belong.
Yeah.
I like post-impressionism too because I feel like, well, all of the movements up until this point like make it what it is today. So I'd say like contemporary art is my favorite style. You know, and it spans so much. Like, yeah. And then medium, I'd say, oh, that is so hard. I feel like I'll say sculpture is my favorite because then I can paint things and do sculpture and like do other things and like put writing on it, and I can like do all the fun stuff that I want to do. You know, if I had to pick a favorite, you know?
Yeah.
And like sculpture could be like installation too, and
right, like the big
the big
creations
stuff.
And stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So like of your pieces that you brought with you this evening, we have some of your greeting cards, and then we have some of your canvas here this evening. If you had to kind of just give us like a breakdown of what it is, which one would you choose and kind of break down for us?
Ooh, okay. This is interesting. Okay, well, this is like interesting. I feel like let's just look at this one right here.
Okay.
So it really like it just starts off with like the feeling or like the essence of like what I want to capture. So here I wanted to capture like a person. I wanted to capture like a being, something that has like thought and emotion and can make its own decisions. And then I start to think about like color, and I'm like, okay, these would be interesting together. This says light to me, and like this says sadness to me, or like this says energy to me. Like the colors each say their own things. And then I start to think about like texture, and I'm like, okay, what would make it interesting? What would kind of tip it to like a weird state? Like I don't want it to just be, oh, I'm like understanding the whole thing here. Yeah, and then I add like little design elements, because I feel like that brings my brain back into a steady space. Like when I have like just like some straight lines or something, I'm like, okay, I didn't fly off the handle too much. Like I still have some like something to make sense of like out there. So it's all like really conceptual. I feel like my art is, but it's heavily based on like emotions and people and the human experience. Like I couldn't make my art without the human experience. You know, like there's artists out there who are like, you're a minimalist, it's about like a straight line and like the line is what it's about. But that's like not how I do it. Yeah, so basically.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Thank
Very
you.
cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
So you went to school, kind of on campus, decided artist was your route to go. You had it in you. But that kind of tipped that scale into, for sure, I want to do this.
Right.
So, how old do you think you were when that would have kind of started, like before you actually went there and saw campus and really fell in love with what was going on in that kind of art experience?
Yeah.
How old do you think you were? Do you remember being when art kind of became a part of your
like
life?
A real thing.
Right.
Like, okay, this is something that I could do.
Yeah.
It was like senior year of high school, honestly. I don't know like what age that is anymore. It's so stupid. It was like only like 5 years or whatever. I don't remember. So 18?
Yep.
17, 18. Okay. And I took an art class. I hadn't taken like any in high school. I'd done like art club for a second, and then I took this art class, and I like watercolored this egg, and it was like in this greenery, and I was like, yo, this looks so good right now. Like, am I an artist?
I want to see the egg.
I don't even know what it is now. I don't know. Maybe. I feel like I still have it because I was super proud of
I
it.
think she totally should share this egg.
That made me think. That like put the bug in my ear. Like, okay, maybe this is something I can do. Pretty cool. Yeah, it was just super like random. It was.
What made you take that class? Or the?
I think it was probably because I had to.
Oh,
like,
right,
it
that
required,
credit.
like, isn't that funny? Like,
Yeah.
I was so like off on something else, and then I was just like, yeah, I have to take this art class. Like, whatever, it'll be easy, and.
And
I
boom,
have-
there it was.
So much more appreciation for it now.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's very cool. I love it.
Yeah.
So, who would you say is your artistic, so we're going to say who. Who is your artistic inspiration now?
Now, Carrie James Marshall.
Carrie James Marshall.
He's a great artist. I went to see his, like, he had some artwork up at the Walker Art Center in Minnesota when I was up there at school. And, like, I got to stand in front of these paintings, and they're, like, amazing. I'm like, whoa, this is awesome. I want to be this when I grow up. But he's such his own artist, and there's a lot of ways where we don't think the same way. Which, honestly, like, your favorite artist doesn't even have to do things that you are doing. It's just, like, the way that they are that inspires you, kind of. So if you, like, see Carrie James Marshall's work, you'll be like, that is, like, not what you're doing. Which is totally true. But, like, the reason he inspires me is not because I see that he's painting the way I paint or building the way that I build. I love it. The way that he just looks at the world and he's able to capture it, like, it's amazing. So go look him up right now. I mean, after the show, like, go look him up.
Stay with us for now.
Stay with us for now. Later on.
Yeah, later on.
Yeah, he's great.
So, we kind of talked about, like, how old you feel like you were when you started to pay attention to art. So, kind of going with that same question, but thinking on, like, a broad scale, and you kind of talked about, like, you know, being in a family and having that creativity, how long do you think you've been like artistic? You know, like beyond like just painting or anything like that, just in general, how long do you think that you've been
Like
artistic in any form?
Right. I feel like it's always like literally like my first memories are like music. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like music or singing or we're reading like a book, but it's got like a beat to it, like dun, 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 like we're telling stories, like which is another form of art. You know, like all of these things. That's like the earliest memory. So I couldn't even think of a time like that some form of art or creativity like didn't exist.
Right.
Yeah.
We have a quick question, which I think is interesting. What would you tell a high school student who is unsure if art is for them?
Oh, that's a good one.
That is.
Do you want me to answer that?
I
now?
do.
Okay. An art student that is a high school student that's unsure, I would just say, like, I would ask myself, do I like to do art? Like, do I love to do this? You know, you have to ask yourself that question. Is this something I could do all the time? I would also forewarn you that, like, art is not always going to be fun, but if it's something you love to do, then you'll be able to, like, push through it to the end, but it's, like, it becomes a job. But you don't have to lose your love for it. I would say also don't be afraid of like everybody out there. They're gonna ask you, well, what are you gonna do with that degree? And they're gonna ask you all these questions, and they're gonna be like, art? Are you serious? You're gonna wonder to yourself like, is there any money in this? And like all these other questions. And honestly, like those are questions you can ask with any field. Like nothing is for sure. You could go become a doctor and like not get a job. Like. So it's like, where do I want to go put my energy towards? Like, what do I want to go commit to? Don't be afraid. Don't compare yourself to other artists. Like, be your own artist. You know, like you're gonna build your own. You're gonna build your own style. Don't be afraid if it hasn't shown up yet. It'll show up. Yeah, I would say. Yeah, I'm hearing just like don't be afraid. Like just don't be afraid. You
Just go for it.
Just go for it. And if it doesn't end up being for you, like you can always change your major. You can like always change like what you're doing, or you can do it as like a minor. Like there's options.
You can get multiple degrees.
You can get multiple
Keep going
degrees.
back.
Like just no fear. Just But don't let it be just I'm not going to do it because there's no money, because that's not true. Don't let it be I'm not going to do this because it'll make me less than other people who are like going for some like STEM degree, which is great, like awesome, but like we're not comparing ourselves to others right now. Like that's not what we're doing. So like you can be an artist and you can be an engineer. It's great. You know, both valid. You know. Yeah.
So kind of building on that is an awesome question, and you know you get concerned about what you should do, or you know, follow your heart. So what does creativity mean to you?
Right.
It can mean something different to like everybody. What does creativity mean to you?
I think creativity means like allowing yourself to like express your like inward being like freely. So creativity is like freedom of expression. You know what I mean? It's gotta be something that's just like happening. You know what I mean? And then you can hone it to like do different things. Like I can be creative in this and this and this. But if I'm not allowing myself to like have a freedom of like thought to begin with, then like you're like always stopping that like point of like discovery of like realization of something.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's what creativity means to me.
That's really cool.
Right, and that can like span like that's not just painting, is it? Like that's like a bunch of stuff.
Yes.
Like doctors are real creative, and you know like
creativity as a whole.
As a whole.
Yeah. Anything.
Like anything.
Just
being creative.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. So let's see. Let's do this one. So where do you see your artistic journey taking you in the future?
Taking me in the future. That's so interesting. Like, what's your 5-year plan?
Your job interview.
I'm totally not a 5-year plan thinker. I know that might be shocking. I guess I just see it taking me day to day. Like, I just see it being there with me, and I'm just going through life day by day, and the art's there with me. You know, like whatever I'm doing. So I just feel like I feel it taking me day by day.
Yeah.
You know, like just it's not gonna leave. It's not gonna go anywhere.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's very cool.
Right.
Yeah, you're gonna get creative with it.
Exactly. Get creative. And there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, how would a person, our amazing and very inquiring audience, how would they see more of what you do?
How would they see more of it? Well, I have a website. I know.
Get your pens.
I'm a professional.
Get your pens and your notebooks.
It's called AngelicaYvonne.com. I know. It's great. So you can see my art on there. You can come to ReTwist-T.
Mm-hmm.
I have stuff here. You can totally ask them about it.
Mm-hmm.
I have like all of these amazing cards here. I have the artwork behind me. Yeah. And yeah, just keep up to date with us and follow my social media, which you'll see like on my website. But yeah, because if I'm doing something, I'll post about it, or you know.
Yes, she definitely is. She is that young, amazing mind. She absolutely keeps up very well with social media. Yes. Now, to get the spelling of her name, of Angelica Yvonne, it is on our website. She is one of our, when you go to our About section on our website, that's where Tanya has all of the amazing members of our team there, kind of their story breakdown. Angelica is there, and her studio name, Angelica Yvonne, is there, so you can pick up that spelling. Is her website like tagged?
I think it's linked to
Or
her.
linked, tagged, added?
Yes, it's added. I know it's connected in some fashion.
Hashtag.
It's also on our brand new services page that they can contact Angelica that way.
Yes. So, because these people are amazing and they're absolutely going to want to see more of what you do, do you take special orders?
Yeah, I do. I do take special
There you go,
orders.
boom.
Yes, I like to do that.
Now, so something just came to my brain with those special orders. Now, Angelica does like her originals this way. She does greeting card originals. She does the prints. Yeah. She does like the, what is that? Like a 9x11, 8x11 size, those prints.
Yeah.
Angelica also does murals.
Yeah,
Angelica has done a mural of like an entire house
Angelica
and garage.
does do that.
She does.
Yeah, that one was like 9 feet by 30 feet.
9 by 30.
It was huge. I did one for my school.
Yeah.
I did several just because I wanted to, just for myself.
Yes. I mean, I don't know how big the one is at home. It's quite a stellar
I think it's
mural.
like 6 feet tall and probably like 11 feet long.
It's like an entire piece of wall.
Yes. So there you go. That is something that's not just out there.
Yes, go to her website. Yes.
Check that out.
And the audience is saying beautiful work, by the way.
Aww, thank you.
I kind of went through my list of questions, the list of questions that we had from our audience on the outside. Do you guys think of anything else? Let me make sure. What did I miss? I got that.
Let's go scan these ones over here quick.
I did. We kind of talked about your pieces, your cards.
It was fun.
It was. I really like this. I'm so excited that we got to do our very first ever Tea Time Talks with our very own Angelica Yvonne. Be sure to go out and check out her website, AngelicaYvonne.com. You can find it on our website, ReTwist-T.com. You will find our about. You'll see all about Angelica and all of our other artisans that we do have with us on our ReTwist-T team. Now, we do have a few events coming up. We have our fall open house anniversary and mini market happening Labor Day weekend. So it is Couch Up Weekend here in Sauk Prairie. We will have a mini market here where we'll have a few of our artisans set up outside. So you can check out their wares out there. Come in and say hi to us while you're kind of hanging out. It'll be happening on Saturday for sure. That we'll have our mini market going on outside.
Yeah.
The same day that they have the Couch It Festival with the artisan and craft fair down at the park. But you can absolutely check out our artisans here at ReTwist-T. Saturday from
10 to around 2.
10 to 2. We also have our next Tea Time Talks coming up in October. That will be
September.
What is? It's August.
It's August.
It's August. I can't tell because it's like 50 when I know.
Right.
I don't know what it is. September 15th, right here at ReTwist-T at 6:30, we will have our next Tea Time Talks interview with one of our very amazing artisans that we have
Stay
here.
tuned.
Be sure to check that out. We'll remind you guys, Tana will absolutely post that. Keep an eye on that on our website. Now, don't forget, we have a class coming up with our very own fashionista Frida, who, thank you so much. She has been incredibly excited and very, very busy with all of her seamstress activities that she has going on. We are so excited that you guys were so interested in that offering that we have for you through our fashionista Frida. She will be having a class here at ReTwist-T. Keep an eye out. Tana will be posting that when it's coming up. All the supply lists and everything. So keep an eye out for that and what you will be making. That is coming up. And be sure to check us out on Saturday morning. We'll be right here between 8 and 8:30-ish. Somewhere in there. We'll take you guys finally get our act together and get our live in for you. That is our Saturday morning. What's new in the shop, where we tell you guys all about what was dropped off that week so you can come see it hot off the presses.
Yeah.
I think that's everything.
Okay.
Okay. We want to thank our Angelica Yvonne for joining us this evening for our very first ever Tea Time Talks. Make sure you tell Angelica thank you. If you have any questions that you think of later on, still be sure to put those in the chat. You can message them through us right through Messenger, so that Angelica would love to have a conversation with you. Be sure to go and check out her website, angelicayvonne.com. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening. Bye, guys.
Bye.